Hello there and welcome. The purpose of this video is to explain the proper technique and pressure to use when performing self-lymphatic care. So if you've watched my other videos, you may have heard me say that the part of the lymphatic system we are working with is just below the skin. So the pressure that we need to use here is very light. I'm going to take some time to explain exactly what I mean by very light, as well as some tips how to get the most out of this self-care routine. So I have 3 guidelines for you to remember. 1 is breathe fully. 2, touch lightly. 3, move slowly. I will explain each one of these in more detail, starting with breathe fully. Many of us spend a lot of time unknowingly breathing up here, shallow breaths in our chest. So by taking the time to practice full belly breaths, we are activating our diaphragm, our true breathing muscle, getting our parasympathetic or rest and digest nervous system going, and cherry on top, it's going to help our lymphatic system get that pumping. So let's take some time right now to breathe fully and deeply into our bellies and feel them expand. So we're going to start by placing our hands gently at the bottom of your ribs on either side of your belly. Let me show you here. So just gentle pressure on the bottom of the ribs, either side of your belly. Deep breath in and out. Contracting those muscles, pushing all that air out. Another deep breath in and out. Feeling those muscles of the core activate and pushing all that air out. Doesn't it feel good to do what your body needs? Moving on to number 2, touch lightly, which I could also refer to as stretch lightly, because we're actually touching the skin and then as well as stretching it towards the nodes or towards the heart, depending on where we're working. It's a touch and a stretch, but either way, it's light. How to explain this? So if you wear contacts, think about the pressure that you use on your eye when you're removing your contact, light pulling. If you don't wear contacts, we're going to do something weird right now. So try contacting the skin of your eyelid and pulling it to the side. So you'll notice it doesn't take a lot of pressure to move your eyelid around. And in fact, if you give too much pressure, that's uncomfortable on your eye, so don't do that. The reason that this is a good indicator of how much pressure you're using when you're doing self-lymphatic care is it's a nice way of knowing how much pressure to give to move the skin, and knowing if you push any harder than that, it's going to be uncomfortable on your eye. So working other places of your body, if you push harder than just moving the skin, it's likely not going to hurt, but you will be pushing just past the fluid and it won't be as effective. So try to think about that light touch, moving your skin over your eyelid when you're working on yourself, and thinking about how much pressure is a light touch pressure. Moving on to point 3, move slowly. How slow, are you wondering? Is slowly. I like to use 3 counts on, 3 counts off. So we're stretching the skin for 3 counts and releasing it for 3 counts. So I'm going to use my neck to show you. If you've seen my neck and head drainage video, I showed you both sides at a time, front and side. I'm just going to show you one side just for simplicity and so you can see what I'm doing. But when you're doing this on yourself, obviously do whatever feels right. So we are pulling, and we're going to work on the side of the neck here. So we're moving from the ear to the sternum, draining this side of the neck, as well as down. So the front part of the neck goes this way and the side of the neck goes down and forward a little bit. So you can try pulling 3 counts, just very lightly, remembering that gentle touch. 1, 2, 3, and then release. 1, 2, 3. And we're releasing in the direction that we're moving. So if we're doing the front of the neck, we're moving in this direction. We're not just stretching the skin down and then releasing it back to where we started, because then we're just pushing the fluid around and not towards the direction that we want to go. So I'll show you on the side of my neck. 1, 2, 3, stretch, and 1, 2, 3, release. Starting towards the base of the neck and moving up. 1, 2, 3, stretch. 1, 2, 3, release. So I know it's kind of hard to see how much I'm moving my skin. The skin of my neck doesn't move as much as maybe the skin of other people's necks. But if you just think of your intention and think about the lightness that you use on your eyelid, you're good. You're doing it right. So next, you could also do a little bit of positive self-talk. So this is going to reduce stress. This is going to improve immunity and help your lymphatic system pumping as well. Giving yourself a little self-love talk. If you'd like to learn more about this, I encourage you to look up psychoneuroimmunology, or you could just believe me. And to the count of 3, you could say, I love you, to yourself. So starting that again, starting at the base of the neck, stretching down this way, forward this way a little bit. 1, 2, 3, I love you. I love you. I love you. Talking to yourself, of course. And if this isn't working for you, then try harder. No, I'm just kidding. You can also try breathing in to a count of 3 and breathing out a count of 3. So sticking with the side of your neck here for simplicity. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Remembering to breathe fully into your belly to get the best effect. So let's have one more deep belly breath for good measure. Hands on sides, lower part of your ribs. Okay, please check out my other videos for step-by-step instructions for how to do the self-lymphatic care on different areas of your body. And remember the 3 steps we talked about today. Breathe fully, touch lightly, move slowly, and just be gentle and loving with yourself. May you feel at ease knowing that incorporating this gentle self-care routine, you're going to have a positive effect, even if you're not doing it exactly how I'm showing you. There's a lot to be said for intention, and if your intention is love, and in this case, self-love, then you're doing it correctly no matter what. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Be well.